Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 060, and this episode is the resolution to my audio and SOS problem. I finally worked it out, and it was because of some of you guys that pointed out I hadn't checked something, the mulf module. Now, I just want to show you, so I was doing lots of searching, as you do when you've got a problem with your car, and from what I could tell, it looked like most cars that had the TCUs, which is this module, didn't have the mulf. And when I had the sub on here, I was just sort of squeezing it up like that, and I couldn't see the mulf. And the mulf was hiding under the TCU. The other thing that made it a bit more difficult, the car that I borrowed the other TCU from, which I assumed the stereo setup was exactly the same, that car is only 2 months older than my one. It didn't have a mulf unit under the TCU. So I'd sort of written it off as my car doesn't have a mulf, and it did, and I didn't actually realise. I was, this morning I was running lights through the optical network, and I still couldn't get the light to come up down the front, and then I started tracing back all the optical network, thinking I've got a break in the optical MOS line, and I noticed one of the green wires near the junction box actually said mulf, and that's when I thought, oh shit, this is what my problem's going to be. So anyway, I put the jumper that I was using to test everything in where the mulf was, and bam, I got a warning chime. I was pretty ecstatic, but I did still have the wrong CCC unit in there. So I put my CCC unit back in, just because there's nothing wrong with my CCC. But I still couldn't, but at this point I couldn't select aux, and that's when I realized exactly what the mulf does. So the mulf unit in my car was running the center console USB and aux input, and that's why it was grayed out. Basically, my CCC unit is looking for the aux input through the mulf unit, not using the aux input on the CCC unit. Now, the reason that was a bit of an issue, my Android unit, which connects to the CCC unit, was connected to the aux input in the center console. You can see why this gets a bit complicated. So basically, I had to recode the car to use the aux input at the back of the CCC unit, and then I could just ditch the mulf. And that's what I've done. And I've actually got, I'll show you. I didn't film the process because there was so much trial and error going on. I didn't know, and I thought I'll wait till I know exactly what we're doing. I've never been so happy to hear a BMW warning bong. Dong. So we've got audio, no SOS light. It was all caused by the faulty mulf stopping the loop on the MOS bus. There we go, she's on. Just turn the Android, Android's still booting. But we should go to YouTube. Slowly connect to the internet. And we've got audio back. Now, to get to the mulf, I did end up completely removing the subwoofer. So basically, I have a ton of stuff to put back in this car. So I'm going to get all this put back in, and I'll give you an update once it's all put back where it should be and that it's all still working. Because after that, we've got to go and test the latest map from JSR just to make sure the flex fuel is doing what it should be doing. All right, guys, I'll see you hopefully in a few minutes. All right, so I have actually just loaded up the JSR update. And we've got to see if we've got some power on the E20 tune, because that timing drops wasn't correct. But now the car is all assembled again, looking nice. Let's just make sure we have put everything back together properly. Will we get audio? I didn't hear a warning chime. Maybe I was talking over it. Oh God. No SOS error. It's got to work, it's got to work. Ah, we got audio. I was waiting for a second. Right, I'm going to get the car warmed up, and then we're going to do some logs and make sure we're putting some decent power down on this flex tune at the lower ethanol levels. All right, well, I've been driving around for, could be 15 minutes actually. And I'm going to roll the power on for the first time with this new map at E25. Yep, she definitely fixed. Wow. Okay, that was a huge difference. I'm actually, I'm not screen recording, I should, sorry. I'm actually watching the ignition advance, just to make sure that we don't drop to 0 again. And just then on that pull, I saw it come up to about 5, maybe 6. It's kind of hard to watch, but it actually felt quite quick. JSR said it should, on a perfect power roll on, should hit about 5 or 6 degrees of timing. So let's give it a proper roll on. Yeah, she's spot on 6. Going a bit quick. Whoops. Yeah, as it wound out, 3rd gear. Definitely 3rd gear. I can see it was hit 6 degrees of timing. So we're good. It actually feels all right. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but I am on map 2. And while we are on the lovely highway, I might just do a quick log. I probably won't film it, but I'm going to do a log and just make sure that everything is all good. I might even try map 7 at E25, see what the car feels like. All right, let's try this log. Oh, I need to get my brakes fitted. All right, I'm going to pull up, we'll review that log and just make sure everything is safe. I didn't wind it completely out to the top of 3rd gear just because safety. But that's probably enough just to make sure that it's doing what it should be doing. And man, I want to see if we can wind the boost up a bit on E25 and see how slow this car is going to be on lower octane. Whoa, map 7 feels actually quite quick. Holy shit. Yeah, the log all turned out good. I had a good chance to actually accelerate onto the highway then, so I thought I'd just try map 7 quickly, and yeah, she's actually quite snappy. So talking to JSR, we think, and I'm gonna have to do a quick log as well just to send off to him, but what we think we're gonna do with this car is when I'm on E60 or higher ethanol contents, that's when I'll run my map 6, which targets 27 PSI. It's not just that it targets 27 PSI, it holds that 27 from about 5,000 RPM right out to 7. All the maps, all the standard maps in the JB4, they sort of have a peak value up around 5,000 RPM and then taper down, which is obviously nicer on your fuel system, the engine, everything involved. So that's those default maps are what I'm going to use when I'm not running E60 or higher. But yeah, basically, I'm hoping that I'll be able to run map 7 on anything under E60, even down to pump fuel. So that'll target around 19 PSI in the mid-range, so around that 5,000 RPM, and then it tapers down to about 15 at 7,000. So not really stressing the car out that much. And again, if I don't have good ethanol in the car, I'm not trying to go quickly anyway. It's only going to be for sort of traveling around. And if you happen to pull up next to someone that wants a quick run. But yeah, all right, I'm going to head back to the house and I'll give you guys a summary because I've got some more news and I need to get those brakes unboxed. They're going to be awesome. Yeah, but I bought another car. Anyway, I'll see you guys shortly. Jeez, it's spinning up. All right, well, I thought I'd do a 60 to 120 draggy test just to see how slow or fast this car is on the E25 maps. I'm on map 7, everything's looking pretty good. Yeah, it'll be a good comparison because I've got heaps of 60 to 120 data from when we were running the E60 flex map. All right, let's give it a go. She's pretty quick. That's not slow. That's really not slow. What did it do? Holy shit, it did 2.9. That is... So to put that in perspective, if you've seen the roll racing video, I logged every single roll race, and the fastest 60 to 120 time I got at the track was, I think, 3.1. That's on the E60 map. It was boost limiting, and that was the fastest run. Like, I think one of those runs I did a 4-second 60 to 120, and this on E25 on map 7, so low boost, done 2.9. So even on the flex map, this car's actually still pretty quick. That's crazy. Man, I'm really looking forward to getting it, safely putting its power down, its big power down for the next roll racing event with the LSD. Oh, it's gonna be sick. All right, heading back to the house, and we'll have a proper summary for you. Well, we're back. Man, it's all running really, really nicely. The flex map, I guess I'm probably a little bit, I don't know, my perception's been skewed because of how slow it was when we had the issues with the timing. But yeah, it feels pretty damn quick on E25. I'm just trying to bring the draggy results up. Where did I save it? Actually, I'll flash it up on the screen, that'd be better. But yeah, I did a 2.9 60 to 120, which is a pretty fast 60 to 120 for this car. I thought, after I finished filming, I went and did another one and actually spun up at around 70 kilometers an hour. So still making pretty decent power. And to put that into perspective, even on the full custom E85 tune with stock turbos, I was only doing like 3.4, 3.5 most of the time, 60 to 120. So still, even on E25 sub 20 PSI boost with these 17Ts, it's still a lot quicker than a stock turbo car. And having the flex is just brilliant for convenience sake. But I'm not going to lie, I'm already looking forward to getting E60 back in it, or E85. We've got a fair bit of testing and development to do with this car. You might be able to see it in the side of this frame, but I did actually buy another M54. I filmed a little bit of a video on that car already. That'll come out in the next few days. Right now I'm going to go and film my brake unboxing, which I should have done before, but it's just been so short of time this week, thanks to this bloody MOST problem. But yeah, I'm not sure whether this one will come out before the brake video, but we'll see how we go. But guys, look, thanks for following along. Team M54, this thing is just a friggin' weapon. And during this video, I also went and did the grocery shopping for the week. Like, when you're just driving around, this thing is just, it's just like a stock 335. It's such a brilliant car. I'm falling more and more in love with it, especially when the MOS system's not playing up. All right, guys, look, thank you again for following along. After this video, we've got to get the brakes done, we've got to get the diff done. I've actually got about 5 or 6 things that I've bought for this car that we've got to get fitted as well. Man, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks getting ready for the next lot of roll racing. All right, catch you on the next one. Peace and stay tuned.